All right, so this is number 12 from yesterday. I'm just going to work through a couple of them. So I'm going to start with A. A was x squared y to the negative 3, and all that raised to the 1/2 power. So here we use the power rule. So we just simply say x 2 over 2 and y negative 3 over 2. All right, well, we know that 2x 2 over 2 is the same thing as an x. And this is y negative 3 over 2. But can I have a negative? No. So I want to say leave my x on top, and I want to move my y to the bottom. So that is how you do A. The answer for A is also the answer for C, not J, C, I, and L. The next one I'm going to do is J, and it was 1 over x squared y cubed, and all that's to the 1/2 power. So first we start by saying 1 to the 1/2 power over x 2 over 2 and y 3 over 2. All right, well, 1 to the 1/2 power is simply just 1 over, remember this 2 divided by 2 is just a 1, so we have x, and then we cannot simplify the 3/2. So that is how you do J. This answer is also answer to letter F and letter D. The next one I'm going to do is E. Whoops. So E is y over x to the 3rd power, and x squared y 6 to the 3rd power. So we're going to start by applying the power rule. So we have y to the 3rd and x to the 3rd. And then we have x to the 2/3 and y to the 6/3. And this is just over 1. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to just like put it all together. So I have y to the 1/3 times x to the 2/3 and y to the 6/3 over x to the 1/3. So now that I put it all together, I can use the multiplication rule and the division rule. So remember, in order to combine and add your exponents, your base has to be the same. So I can first combine my y's. So I have y 7 over 3. So that got rid of those. And now I can combine my x's. I can subtract my exponents, and I'm left with x to the 1/3. Now I cannot combine x and y because those are two different bases, okay? This answer right here is also the answer for H and K. The next one I'm going to do is letter G, and it is x to the negative 1/3 y to the 7/3 times 1 over x squared times y squared to the negative 1/3. So first, we want to use that negative rule in that first set of parentheses. We want to move our negatives to the bottom. So we're going to keep y to the 7/3 on top, and we're going to move x to the 1/3 on the bottom. All right, on the second set of parentheses, we want to apply the power rule first. So we have 1 to the negative 1/3 over x to the negative 2/3 and y to the negative 2/3. Here we have to apply the negative rule. So I'm just simply going to bring this one down. Now here we're basically just swapping the sides. So I'm moving the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top since they're negatives on both. So we're left with x 2/3 and y 2/3 over 1 to the 1/3. All right, now I'm going to put everything together on the top. Y to the 7/3 times x to the 2/3 times y to the 2/3 over x to the 1/3. This right here just x to the, or 1 to the 1/3 just equals 1. All right, so when I combine, I have a y to the 9/3, and because I can combine 7 and 2, and then I'm going to subtract my x's, so I'm left with x 1/3. But you can simplify that even more and get x 1/3 and y 3. So this answer is also the answer for B. Okay. The next one, number 13. So we have 13a. Um, 16x third to the 1/4 power. All right, so we use the power rule and we say 16 to the 1/4 and x to the 3/4. Well, 16 to the 1/4 is a 2. And then we just bring down our x to the 3/4. So that is A. B, we have 4 over 8x cubed, and all that's to the 1/3 power. So we just leave our 4. We say 8 to the 1/3 power and x to the 3/3. 8 to the 1/3 power is the same thing as me saying the cube root of 8 times this x, and we know that the cube root of 8 is 2, so we're left with 4 over 2x, but can I simplify and say 4 divided by 2 is a 2 over x? Okay, you have to keep that x on the bottom. All right, C is 8x cubed, all that to the 1/3 power over 4x squared to the 1/2 power. So that's 8 and 1/3 times x 3 over 3, and that's 4 to the 1/2 power times x 2 over 2. So I have a 2x on top and a 2x on the bottom, which leaves me with 1. And the last one that I'm going to do is D, and it's 2x squared y, all that cubed, times x to the 3rd, y to the 4th, z to the -1, and all that to the 1/3. So I have a 2 to the 3rd power, an x to the 6th, and a y to the 3rd, times an x to the 3 over 3, a y to the 4 over 3, and a z to the -1/3. 8x 6 y 3 times x times a y over z to the 1/3. And remember, I'm moving that z because it's negative. All right, so now we simplify and we say 8x to the 7. Oh, I forgot to do this. And then we combine our y's. So that, can we combine those fractions? no, because their denominators aren't the same. So when you do combine them and you get the same common denominator, you get y 13 over 3, and then we have that z to the 1/3. So how I got that 13 over 3, I have a 3 over 1 plus a 4 over 3. So what I'm trying to do is get the same common denominator. So I multiply both sides by 3, and I have a 9 over 3 plus a 4 over 3, which gives me a 13 over 3. Okay, so this is my answer.